What is up, party people? Welcome to this week's episode of Saturdays and Seltzers. If you are new here, feel free to like and subscribe if you are listening to us on YouTube or Spotify or what have you. But my name is Kendra Middleton, and I'm joined by my co-host, Haley DeMello, and our producer, Tyler. We have decided that this episode is going to be an angry episode. We're all beefing with our jobs, and life is insane, and I am tired.
We're angry. Today is an angry episode.
I'm actually fine. I'm not angry.
Yeah, Tyler's great, honestly.
I'm
Tyler, I don't
having
want
a
to
great
speak for
day.
you, but
Tyler's usually the one that's like sad cat, depressy, but now it's me and Haley.
I'm in a great mood because football's back.
I want to be in a great mood.
Back.
College football is back next week.
sleepy.
NFL's back preseason. It's just the best time of the year. We finally got fall-ish weather in Nashville. Like it's a nice, like cool 80.
You live down south. Shut up.
It's nice.
No, I'm not. I cannot handle the winter right now. I'm too anxious and upset as a human.
I can't wait for it to get here.
Ugh. All right. Anyways, we're going to start the show like we always do with our HLH segment, which is our high of the last week, low of the last week, and hero of the last week, which is something unexpectedly good that happened to you. Since we are a weekly podcast, we just like to catch up a little bit. Tyler has no high and no low, but he has a hero. So I'll come back to him. Haley, what's your high? We have a joint high hero. So.
Oh, yeah. Shit. My high is fantasy season. I'm really excited for fantasy season. I guess I'm excited for football. I guess like that's what it is, but I'm gonna just say like the inciting incident is the return of Hard Knocks last week, and now we are getting prepared for fantasy football. You're gonna touch on it, but we have a league that we're in together. I have another league I'm in with a couple of my friends that's based solely on SpongeBob memes. Bubble Bowl. Yeah, so it's the league is the Bubble Bowl, and each team is like a deep SpongeBob meme. So,
okay.
Yeah, mine is These Are Some Ugly Looking Fish, which is from the Bubble Bowl episode. Deep SpongeBob reference there. But anyway.
I feel like I can't name my team until I draft my team.
Oh, really? That's fair.
That's kind of how I feel.
I've always done it ahead of time.
As well.
I always play off someone's name.
Yeah.
I always play off one of my players' names.
Well, I went ahead and played off a coach's name for our draft. I don't know if you saw that. It's Mike McDank Yills, and it's the the picture of him vaping. So,
I think Ryan. So my hero, one of my heroes, is our fantasy football league. I am trying to, for the people that listen to this show, remember who all's in it that you guys would know, but it's obviously an SNS league. It's me, Haley, Tyler, my friend Patrick, our friend Ryan, who works for Nesson as a stage producer. Nancy, Haley's mom, Steve, Celtics beat Steve, Celtics writer, and Will Whitelaw, who runs the social for the Revs, and Ben from Genius Jackets. So lots of SNS lore for our fantasy football league. We got a couple other random people in here that you guys probably don't know.
Friend of the show, Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, we should have asked Ben DiNucci, but he wouldn't be able to play. Because you can't, that's gambling, because we're putting down money.
We could cover it up.
Should we ask Ben DiNucci's mom?
Yeah.
We could ask Ben's mom.
There we go.
I don't know Ben's mom, but we could ask her.
I wonder if she's on the internet.
That's a great question.
Ben DiNucci's mom. Heidi DiNucci.
Shout out Heidi. Friend of the show.
Heidi.
I'm actually trying to find her on Instagram right now. But okay, yeah. So that's our fantasy football league. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
I need Nancy to sign up though, because
did you see my text last night? We'll talk offline, but she didn't get the original invite, so I sent you her email again. I checked her email and everything, so she wasn't lying.
Okay. Wow, we love to see it. Also, we have the option. We can only randomize the draft order an hour out. So good luck with your prep, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy. My other league, I already have my spot.
Yeah, you can. So what we could do is I could find like a randomization something and manually put it in myself. We could vote on it.
We can do that.
Got it.
This is a democracy. I'm down to vote on it.
Yeah. I mean, Kendra's commish is pretty wild. I will say, if anyone plays fantasy football, just imagine that situation because it's pretty fun so far.
Why? Okay, wait. Why?
just because like it's kind of like it's not super high tension right now because it's very much like Kendra will text us all in this group chat and be like, all right, like here's the league, everybody like do your shit, and then we're gonna do it this day, and then it's all gonna go downhill from there. So
it would be
it's
funny.
like it's gonna be sick, and I'm most excited for the Zoom call that we're gonna do. We're gonna have to probably maybe snip some stuff out from that because that'll be pretty
What
fun.
we could do is do a wheel for the draft and do it like on the show next week.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, if people agree that that they will do that, that can be our proof that it's not rigged. And then we can have a show where either if it goes really well, we can just post like a recap of our draft, or we can turn that into a show in itself. Like that would be super easy to do, I feel.
We could.
For sure.
So we're doing it on like a Thursday, right? I won't be
Yeah.
around for that Zoom call.
You would be, yeah. That's why I did it at
10:30.
late enough for
That's
you.
what we're doing it
Oh, is
late.
it late enough for me? Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. Always looking out for Tyler.
I don't want to skip over your high, Kendra, because I just read it and I'm really excited to hear about this.
So my
tell us about it.
My high is I put in our notes just motherfucking Nathan Rourke. If you watched preseason football or you are on like NFL Twitter, he was the Jags' third string quarterback who I believe used to be in the CFL.
Yep, the BC Lions.
Probably one of the craziest plays I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, the balls are just so big. I have no words. I think that's exactly how
if you haven't seen the play and you listen to this show, which like if you listen to this show, you probably have seen it, to be completely honest, but go look it up. I'm going to talk about the Jags preseason game and probably preview a little bit of what I expect later in the show. But it was the craziest thing ever. Broke a bunch of tackles. Pretty much almost on.
Sorry. We're having beef. I got a notification that someone responded to our.
No. No. I need to know.
Sorry.
This is breaking news. Breaking news. Some dude's being a misogynist online. Yeah, we are online.
We are in a war, and I had my sound on, so when I open the post to read the comments, it's a reel. So if you want to see some dudes being real dumb, go check out our latest.
Dude, it's fucking Instagram crazy. Reel. Well, it won't be our latest reel by the time this airs.
Yeah, it won't be the latest reel, but you can find it. It's a little treasure hunt. See if you can find the reel that we're referencing. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just, before we get into reasons that make us mad, I'm gonna go into my low real quick, if you guys don't mind.
Okay, anyways, long live Nathan Rourke. He's my king. I know he's making the roster, but fuck it, I love him. The end.
Yeah, shout out Nathan Rourke. Really, honestly, motherfucking Nathan Rourke is just the best high of all time, in my opinion. So my low is, it's a twofer, and both are probably like some of the most Haley DeMello things that I could bring to the show. The first of which is that BravoCon 2023 is being held in Las Vegas. If you're a fan of the show, you know we love Las Vegas on this podcast. We're a very pro Las Vegas pod. BravoCon is basically like Comic-Con, but all reality television personalities that are on Bravo. It's a real thing, and a lot of middle-aged and Gen Z women attend. And the gays also love BravoCon.
It's true.
And
allegedly,
I would love to go. It's like one of my, like, I would just love to experience it. I would love to experience it in Vegas. And I am here to report that tickets sold out in record time for the third year in a row for this event in different cities. So BravoCon up there with the Eras Tour. I'm not even sorry. Like it's pretty hard to get in, and I'm pretty bummed I'm not going. And then my second high is that I have to go to the allergist for the first time in a couple weeks.
Been allergy gang for a long time now. Let me know if you have any questions.
I know. I'm kind of like, I'm super not a fan of the doctor. I don't know if anyone is really a fan of the doctor, but I'm just like it's not my ish, not my thing. And I have a lot of lung problems, so I had a pulmonary appointment this week. And the lady was like, so you're on Zyrtec like every day, all year long? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you need to go see an allergist. I was like, do I though? I don't really need to. So now I do. So wish me luck. I'll keep y'all updated. Can confirm I am allergic to the bullshit. So that'll probably come back.
This is insane to say. I don't think anybody's ever said this. But when you go to the allergist, sometimes they'll do the allergy testing on you where they like stab you with what you're allergic to. And because I like needles, I am very into that.
Awesome.
We
don't have time to unpack all of that, but that's
I just mean in the sense that I like tattoos and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I was allergic to a bunch of stuff they stabbed me with, and it was really itchy, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Botox, love getting Botox, like all that. I love, I don't know. Yeah. All right. My low is the internet's failing me, whereas I think it's a high for Haley this week. Jags fans have started war with Lions fans, and we're one and the same, and I don't want us beefing, and I don't care if anybody else fights. I just have always loved Lions fans and Detroit, and I don't want to fight with them or any of their fans. The end. No, I didn't get involved because stick together.
Cats should have each other's backs.
I agree. Like
cats stick together.
Exactly. So I guess one of their beat writers or somebody tweeted that there was one Jaguars reporter at camp for the Lions co-practices. And then all of the reporters got involved. Jags Twitter started like beefing with this guy. And then it turned into when was your last playoff game? Like the internet wasn't even invented yet and blah, blah, blah. And it turned into this whole thing. And while I am pro chaos and pro slander at times, this is where I personally draw the line.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fair take for sure.
So that was my low.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Tyler, wait. Yes, Tyler has a hero. So Tyler, hero.
So it will probably be the same hero next week. College football's back. Week 0 starts on Monday. First games I think are on Thursday, maybe. I don't know. Might be Saturday. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head. No, week 0 is like remarkably bad this year. Navy plays Notre Dame is probably the biggest.
That's a good one, yeah.
It's good, but Notre Dame's gonna kill them.
Oh, 1,000%.
And we're gonna be overreacting to how Notre Dame, are they national championship bound after week 0?
Well, I think we have decided that we are pro overreactions this year. Is that are we are pro overreact, or is that going to be the same for college football, or are we exclusively overreacting for NFL this year?
If there's a reaction from me, it's an overreaction.
College football is like mostly overreactions.
No ovary jokes in the comments, please.
We got Florida, Utah again. Didn't they play last year?
Well, that's week 1.
Ma'am.
Yeah, they did a home and home. So they were in Florida last year. Now they're in Utah to start this year. And shout out to them, by the way. One of the few like season openers not playing at a neutral site.
I think next week we should do a week 1 Kendra Tyler preview predictions for the big games.
We don't have to do a full one, but I'll
not
bring
a full one, but just like a quick one, right? Like
we
who's
can
gonna win?
Best.
Doesn't have to do scores. We'll just do
North Carolina versus South Carolina.
Week 1.
LSU, Florida State. Oh yeah, this is all week 1.
This is all week 1. Week 0 is just Saturday.
Yeah.
The 26th.
It's San Jose State and USC.
Yeah, that one's a big one too. But they're just. I'm interested in that Hawaii Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt killed them last year. And I like the over on the Vanderbilt win total. I think it's at 3.5 maybe.
I think college football is going to suck this year. I'm going to say it now.
Wow.
I think it's going to be fine. I think it could be a little chaotic.
I think we're not going to have a great product, but that's just me. I think, is this the first class of, so this is the first class of bowl eligible or NFL eligible players to come from like a starting COVID season, right?
I think there could be some from the COVID season, yeah.
This is like the first time the 2020 kids are eligible for NFL stuff.
Theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
They could have redshirted.
Yeah, but
yeah. Or crazy. No, I guess that year doesn't count. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Haley, hero.
My hero is another Haley DeMello classic. And I'm gonna call an audible real quick. David Krejci with the Boston Bruins announced his retirement this week. So although he is no longer an active member on the team, I'm gonna make him my hero just for what he brought to the org.
Question. Was the
answer.
city in such a state of mourning like it was the last time
Yes.
this happened? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it was kind of a sense of we had done this already, with what happened when you were here. So but I think at least from my end of things, like I saw a ton of posts and everyone seemed pretty sad, but not necessarily surprised. And I continue to be disappointed in Bruins organization. So that's one hero. And then my other Boston hero is Julian Edelman, who was on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers a couple weeks ago. And I watched the podcast. It came out like 4 weeks ago, but I watched it last night and it was really, really good. So check it out.
Speaking of podcasts, I heard that Alex Cooper girl who hosts Call Her Daddy put out a podcast naming all of the athletes in Boston that she hooked up with when she was here.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I haven't watched that video, but I guess she does like she goes back to Boston. She was a BYU athlete and she like goes to all like her old
She went to BU.
stomping grounds. Yeah, BU. And
You said BYU.
Not Brigham
did I
Young.
say BYU? Oh my god.
Freudian slip.
BU. I meant Boston University, but I got Zach Wilson on the brand, I guess. She played soccer, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she goes back and like does like this tour, but I heard that she said like a lot of things that I'm like, oh, okay. So.
I kind of want, I've never listened to any of her shit, but I kind of want to listen to this.
I think that's kind of an iconic concept. So, like, imagine
it's iconic,
if we
but
had.
I would never.
No, I would never either. But it's just the concept, and not necessarily like talking about who you slept with, but like going back to like your old stomping grounds when you were in college and like telling stories. Like that's kind of fucking awesome.
I would never even tell people the contacts I have in my phone, like as a brag.
Yeah,
like I for real just like would not or could not. But like good for her. Like what does she have to lose? I guess like she's getting married. It's probably like she does like if she's talking about them, she clearly didn't sign an NDA.
Dude, and the stories she has. I mean, like I said, I haven't watched the video, but I'm sure she has some like fucking wild tales from her time. And she, from what I saw, she used to go to like some pretty iconic Boston bars. Like you'll see a couple familiar faces, I think.
Probably makes sense. My hero is that the Premier League is back.
This is such a good one.
I'm happy about it. I love soccer or football, whatever you want to call it.
Should we review our Prem alliances here? Out of the way. I'm a Man City fan, if anyone didn't know.
I think it's obvious I'm a United fan. I just traveled to New York to watch them.
Tyler?
I don't have a soccer team.
Pick
I
one.
think we should force Tyler to pick one right now.
Can we find a Hogwarts quiz? Do we have like a preliminary?
No, Tyler, you need a good team.
FC.
No, you need a good
They're
team.
good.
No, they're not.
You need pick a Premier League team.
Yeah, pick a Premier League team.
I don't know what that means. That means
Google
Premier
Google
League, and then pick off the logos. We'll come back to you.
Premier League, not spelled like that.
This is bullying Tyler 101.
Yeah,
they do this all the time.
We do this all the time.
Usually just in private.
You can also take colors into consideration. I know you're a big color guy.
I know you're a bit,
I'm a big color guy. Liverpool's got some good colors.
You would be an iconic Liverpool fan.
Nottingham, the Sheriff of Nottingham from what is the Sheriff of Nottingham from?
I'm watching the wheels turning.
Robin Hood?
I have no idea.
Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. I don't care.
Okay, well, you
Just
have to have
You have
one.
10 seconds. 10. 9.
Who are you all fans of? I don't want to be the same fan.
Man City and Man United. So just don't pick one with Manchester.
How about Tottenham?
That's great. That's
Perfect.
great. Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly who I wanted you to.
You have to be a diehard for the rest of your life now.
Yeah,
And you have to be prepared to be miserable.
Hold on, before I commit.
Forever.
What's the best jerseys in the English Premier League?
Probably
right.
Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a sucker for Man City blue, though. That baby blue.
Is that
Also, I
who
understand
has
that there are
those?
some problematic things with Man City ownership, blah, 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 blah. I was a fan before all those things were brought to light. And they were the only club in the Premier League founded by a woman, which is why I was originally a fan of them. So,
I'll stick with Tottenham, but I'm
All
also
right.
a Wrexham fan.
Okay, I'll allow it. All right, any other thoughts?
I hope Steve Hewitt loses our fantasy league.
Me
I don't
too.
care who wins, but not Steve Hewitt.
Not Steve Hewitt. If
Let's
I don't,
all band together. To
We
make
are.
sure
No, we
I
already
was
are.
just
A couple
going to
people have
say.
already said in the chat that beyond us three, some of our other friends.
Are
So
you
it's
gonna make
not
him do
us
a
guys.
punishment?
We're not bullies. I'm just saying. But other people have attested that as long as he loses, it is a success.
I don't care if I come in last place, as long as Steve Hewitt does not win, I don't give a flying fuck. I would spend $20 twice for Steve to lose this league.
I agree with that.
Okay. As long as we're all in agreement.
Survivor
All right, so
Alliance.
Some
as
light
football
collusion here, but it's fine.
I'm the commissioner, so the commissioner's always the dirtiest one of all anyway.
That part.
Just to be fair, I will not be cheating. I'm actually a good commissioner, but fuck.
No,
Steve.
and that's why I'm saying, like, you are a great commissioner, because if you're gonna screw us over, I know you're gonna do it to our face.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, if and or but, no sneaky shit. Like, it'll be obvious.
No, I'll straight up tell your ass. Like full transparency. Okay, so obviously the big theme of this show is that football's back for real this time. So we have a ton of football to talk this week. We already kind of hinted at we are continuing our divisional previews with the AFC North. But first, I want to just recap the preseason really quick, get that out of the way. I watched the Eagles-Browns games last night. I don't know if you guys did.
I've watched absolutely none.
I watched the whole thing.
I've watched none. No preseason football this year.
Okay. My big takeaway is just Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I get that the Browns have a ton of depth. I talked to some people on Twitter about this last night. I get that you have Josh Dobbs and Kellen Mond. Do I get the seniority thing? Whatever. Maybe that they've made more plays in their career. Josh Dobbs didn't play too terrible considering the circumstances he was under last year. I get it. But I do think he deserves a roster spot, even if it's not there, like somewhere. And I feel like they could probably get something for him. I don't know if he'll be a practice squad guy. I don't know, but I think that he rocks. I'm a big fan. He's got a really good preseason. That was pretty. The game last night was so fucking boring. The fact that it was 3-2 for like
time. We started with a safety, bro. I kept
we?
thinking back to our show a couple weeks ago where you were like, if the first NFL regular season game, the first score is a field goal, I'm gonna kill somebody. And all I could think last night was, dude, if it's a safety, like, I think that might be even worse. Like, it was so boring, and I was just like, I tweeted last night that preseason is kind of like a dress rehearsal with all of the understudies, and that's what last name's game like literally felt like. It was literally just like it kind of was. I don't know. Yeah, it was wild. It was really wild. The WWE made an appearance for like a solid 15-minute segment. So that was kind of wild.
They threw the sideline announcer to the ground. I did see that part.
Yeah, well, the sideline announcer guy also pushed one of them. I don't know if you caught that. Like, he was in on it, but like
it's all scripted, Haley.
It's all scripted.
It's all scripted, but I was also like, dude, like, don't fuck with him.
I would
he
let
did
him
hit the
throw
ground
me
hard.
I would do it.
Our boy took that bump like
100%.
champ. Props to him.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I thought it was they. Also, did you guys see the new Eagles jerseys? The Kelly
them.
Green.
The Kelly Greens, I love them.
So my mom brought up a good point. Shout out Nance, friend of the show. She watched the game last night. And she messaged me and was like, "These are the exact same color as the Jets." And I think that's kind of
kind of.
One's AFC, one's NFC, though. So
better
like
helmets.
whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Also, the Eagles still don't wear that color, and I really want a Jack Driscoll one.
It was kind of cool though. Like, when I saw them, it made sense. And then when you see them next to the Eagles colors now, it's so different. That green that they have now is just so like a dark cool green.
I
don't
wonder
know.
why
Yeah.
they changed it.
Because I've heard, I don't know, don't quote me on this. This might be wrong. I heard they don't have the rights to the Kelly Green jerseys, like the color code. I've heard they don't have the rights, and the person who owns the rights only lets them use it for like one game a year, or that was the previous agreement. That may have changed with the new.
Can't you change the like color code just like minimally
Slightly.
though?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not a law boy.
Not a law boy.
Not a law boy.
And I could have just made all that up completely. So
my only other
Never
thought
know.
about the game last night was just that all the Georgia players obviously look really good, as we suspected.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
How is
So,
my boy? What's his name doing? The race car driver.
Jalen?
Jalen, yeah, Carter. I just couldn't. His name escaped me.
He's been fine. Nothing crazy. I think some of the other guys have had better preseasons. I don't think he's
Has he
taken
been
a ton of
playing
snaps.
much? Yeah, I was gonna say. I hope they haven't been playing too much.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing a whole lot. So those are my only takeaways from last night. I know that Haley watched the Pats game last week just because we watched it together.
Yeah. That was fun, by the way.
Yeah.
I did have a good time.
Yeah. So Haley and I, did we talk about Bill and the number 0?
No, we did not. But I saw this in here and I've done some research and I think I might have some answers for you. But
Okay.
give me your thoughts first.
Well, just for people who
That's my
haven't
thought.
been deep into it, basically, I, like other people, expected Christian Gonzalez, the rookie corner for the Patriots, to take the number 0. He did not. I think he took 17 or something. And none of the rookies took 0. So there was a lot of clutter about, does Bill not want the rookies taking 0? Is it a number you have to earn? Does he think it's not a real football number? X, Y, Z. So I just don't know why nobody would take 0, especially because I think they'd be the first for the team to wear it, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be correct.
But
so I agree 100%. And I've done some digging, and here's what I found. There was one player on the Patriots who was slated to take the number 0, and that would be Jack Jones.
Oh.
So I don't know, maybe if it's cursed potentially, maybe they are staying away from that because that was his number, I believe, when he was in college. So he had come out as one of the people that wanted to take it. It was going to be him or Christian. And now all of a sudden we don't know who's taking 0. So
is it bad that I kind of wish Bill would have given it to Christian just as like a silent fuck you for the drama?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Because now like we talk about the whole situation and I think Bill is just the kind of guy who's like, no one's gonna wear it because you fucked up for everybody. So
yeah, I could totally
I wouldn't
see that.
be surprised if that was the mentality. I really wouldn't.
The other big news kind of coming out at the end of last week was the Zeke signing. I think it happened right as we finished recording, maybe.
Literally.
I think that this is the better of the signings. I've said it on this show. I've said it on 98.5, just because do I get why Dalvin Cook is a hot commodity and a great player and adds a lot of depth to your offense? Yes. I think that he was too similar to Ramondre Stevenson to put on this team. Like, it's just they play a very similar style, but when you add someone like Zeke, I have already taken the over on his touchdown projections for the season just because he's going to be their goal line guy. He can pick up the blitz. When your offensive line sucks, it doesn't matter how you can add depth there. I think you need to do it. Dalvin Cook, while he can be a type of running back to be able to do that, he's not as big, he's not as thick as Zeke. I think that that's probably why, outside of Dalvin seeming like he really wanted to go to New York, that Zeke made sense for the Patriots. And I like the signing. I get that a lot of people don't. They think he's just a name that's washed. I don't think his career's over. I don't think it's close to over. I think that he wants to make a name for himself. And I think if you would have said to me a couple years ago that Zeke Elliott and Juju Smith-Schuster would be on the Patriots, I would have fucking laughed at you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was actually a big fan of this signing. I will be honest, I wasn't a huge fan when you look at the numbers, just straight up a $6 million deal. At first, I was like, whoa, but then you find out that $1 million is a sign-on bonus, $3 million to play, and then $2 million is incentive. And I honestly looked at that deal, with the money that we've talked about the Patriots organization having and needing to spend to some extent, I was kind of okay with it. I'm also, we've discussed on the pod a couple times, I'm super pro running back. Obviously, everything going on in the league right now, I understand that it's one of those very much debated positions in terms of value in the team, depending on obviously the system that you're running. I'm excited to see a Zeke level running back in the Patriots system. I think it's going to be something pretty different, talking about how much we're looking at Mac Jones and his ability and maybe lack thereof, depending on how we're able to adjust to, Bill O'Brien this season. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's going to be different. I can't think of a Pats team that has really been able to run the ball strongly and effectively as much as they've been able to pass it. So I think that it's going to be a change, and I hope that they're able to utilize him in a way that can obviously improve what we can do offensively, because last year it wasn't working. So
yeah. I don't have any comments on the Gesicki injury other than the fact that he is allegedly supposed to be back before the season starts. I think that I've said that I thought that he was going to be their number one target this season, just because you're kind of falling back into that 2 tight end system that Bill likes to play. He's obviously the pass catcher between the two of them, if you ask me. But if he's going to be back, fine. That sucks, and it worries me a bit because I do really like him, and he was my favorite signing of them for the offseason. But circling back to the preseason game, I thought Keon White looked really good, but the star of the night for me was Malik Cunningham. I know that it's been talked about all week that Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones seem to have a very negative relationship, according to some people. But I think that Malik could maybe take the job, unsure, but
Like the starting job?
no. Oh my God, no. Bailey Zappi's job is the backup.
Okay.
I think that Malik could be number 2.
Just want to make sure. I love Malik Cunningham.
Me
I don't
too.
think he's going to be anything in the league, but I love the idea of Malik Cunningham.
I have to say, I was really impressed. Like, I think that was my biggest takeaway too. And everyone I talked to that watched the preseason game felt the same. Like, just that last, the last half of the third, the fourth, he looked really good. And, we talked about, Kendra, when we were on the phone, you were shocked at how long Bailey was still out there. And
shocked that he played into the third.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think it really shows, and we're going to go into when we talk about the Jags too, but I have to say, like, I do have some faith in the QB position with New England right now, based on that game alone, but not a ton. I think that it's better than anticipated, but I'm honestly, like, nervous to see Mac out there. I'm, like, going to be 100% honest.
Has he played in any of the games?
No,
Mac?
not yet.
No.
Here's the thing for me.
Maybe it's just because I haven't seen it. That's a good point, Tyler.
I think the issue is that you have a starter, but you don't have a true starter. I don't think that any of these 100%. Guys are anything other than a lower back half of the middle of the league quarterback situation wise. Mm-hmm. Like the Malik Cunningham is very different from Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones, and Mac and Bailey are pretty different. Like Mac's bigger. He's maybe a little bit more accurate, but Bailey's arm is way bigger. I think Bailey has bigger balls than Mac. I think he's willing to go out there and sling it a little more. He's not afraid to get hit, whatever.
Right.
Malik's way different than that. But the thing is that I just worry that they don't have a true number one, and that the space between whoever's Mac's backup's going to be just isn't big enough for it to be that big of a game changer.
I agree.
What if they do something wild and do like a quarterback by committee? That'd be crazy.
It's just, and again, I talk all the time and we joke I'm a homer. I get that. I grew up my whole life with Tom Brady as the Patriots quarterback. So for me, that is where I am most uncomfortable, that we don't have that number one for sure guy in that spot that we can rely on. And I know it's not necessary. It's not necessarily like the quarterback wins all the games, but it's a very important position, especially in the system that Bill Belichick has created, having Bill O'Brien back in that offensive coordinator position. I just feel more so than ever before, like, I don't know how this is going to go down, and I don't like that.
Yeah, so. I just feel like there's not a big enough, like, when you think of all the top teams in the league right now,
Mm-hmm.
The talent gap between a starter and a backup is significant. And I
Mhm.
don't think that the talent gap between the quarterbacks on this team right now is significant.
I agree.
And that's my fear. Like, I'm not even talking about having someone as good as Tom Brady who can go out there and make mid receivers look like all-stars. It's just the fact that it's not, everyone's talking about how, Tua had the jump when he had Tyreek. Trevor Lawrence had the jump when he had Christian Kirk. All of these comparisons of Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and having a good receiver. But the thing is that Mac Jones receivers this year really aren't that bad. And people are making it seem like he's out here slumming it. Like Mike Gesicki is a good receiver.
Yeah, that's
Hunter
what I don't
Henry's-
understand. I don't understand that either. I've seen that too, and I don't get that because I think that it's again like I don't know what if they're still referencing Alabama Mac Jones. Like it very much feels like they're still like I don't know who they're talking about because I'm like, were we watching the same team last year? Because I agree. I think our receivers are very talented and have the ability to be very talented if they get thrown the ball correctly.
Last year, I get it. Fine. You can use last year as an excuse as a whole altogether. The receivers aren't great, but the fact that narrative is continuing this season is what's bothering me. Like, it's not the receivers that are the issue. It's obviously the offensive line, but there's enough talent out there for him to go make it work.
I agree.
And I think that people are just making excuses.
There has to be a way for us at all either last year.
Yeah.
No.
I think.
Last year doesn't count at all for me, but
Yeah.
it's the fact that the narrative this year is like, woe is Mac Jones not having any weapons. It's like, there are quarterbacks who are in a lot worse situation than Mac Jones and who are having competitive numbers. Like, I don't want to hear it.
I really do feel, and do you feel this way as college football stands that you are, that it is, and maybe it's just because he is from Alabama, but and that goes back to the offensive line conversation too. He's constantly getting excuses for having this offensive line that isn't up to par, but would he be having those same excuses if he didn't come from Alabama, do you think?
I don't think that has anything to do with it, but I think the fact that he talks about his career at Alabama a lot does dumb his NFL playerness down to people who actually follow this team, but to just random fans are like, oh yeah, Alabama, haha, like it's whatever. But I want to hear about you right now.
Right.
And I get that Bill O'Brien and him have a relationship because of Alabama, but I'm fucking sick and hearing. I'm sick of hearing about it. I am
too. I really am too. It's just kind of like
Alabama.
Well, like I don't know. Maybe I just haven't experienced it before, but it is kind of like, all right, yeah, we get it. But now you're with the Patriots. Like, what are you going to do for the Patriots? And we're still talking about Alabama with him in terms of like, oh, woe is Mac Jones? Like, he had so much of a better offensive line in Alabama, and that's why he could really shine, and he can't shine here because like, this is the NFL. Like, I just don't understand that argument at all.
Okay, but you can't have that argument in general because think about the quarterbacks who go in the top 10 picks who are going to terrible fucking teams.
Exactly.
Terrible teams with probably not a whole lot of talent altogether. That's not an excuse because these guys still find a way to turn it around. And you can't really give him the excuse because Trevor Lawrence also had a year with Urban Meyer and all of that fucking shit, but they figured it out. Look at Joe Burrow and the terrible offensive line he had. Yep. He had a season-ending injury and still is fine. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I said this about Trevor Lawrence last year. I was just like, stop making excuses for him. He's either going to work out or he's not. Like, it is what it is. And I'm sick and tired of the excuses for Mac Jones because the Patriot homers, I get it. I'm a homer too, just not for the Patriots. It's whatever, but it's just either the blind delusion or continuing to parrot points that aren't actually even points.
For sure. Yeah. And they actually, if you think about them, prove the opposite of the point that you're trying to make. I don't know, dude. It's frustrating. I totally get it. And even as a Patriots fan, like I have made my not even distaste, but my what's the word that I'm looking for? Distrust, I guess. No, my hesitancy with Mac Jones. Just like I'm not 100% a truther. I just can't be.
And I don't want to hear anybody else call me a Patriot hater because I have the Patriots over on the season on DraftKings right now, bitches. I'm not a Patriot hater. I'm a Patriot truther.
What's that number?
Yeah, you are 100%.
How many wins?
I think 8.5.
8.5
is what I took or had. I don't know what it is right now, but I took them over 8.5.
That's probably hovering around that.
Yeah. So suck it.
Talking about you being a homer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was gonna talk about the Jags Cowboys game.
Let's do it.
I like reiterating my point about not making excuses for Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's first throw of the game last weekend was a pick. Trevor Lawrence's first throw in the NFL was a pick. Trevor Lawrence threw 5 picks in a playoff game last season. Am I frustrated about it? Yes. Did I expect him to to fix the turnover problems in the offseason? Yes. Am I a little worried about it? No, but it is still an issue for me. And sure, I have been an advocate for Trevor being higher in these rankings this season. But when you go out there and everyone is bitching about the amount of interceptions you throw, and your first throw of the 2023 season is an interception, I'm going to continue to reiterate the issues. You could be one of the best quarterbacks this league has ever seen if you fix that issue, but it's just not giving me any promise at the moment, especially when you're doing it. I think it's worse to do it in the preseason than it is the regular season for your first throw, just because you're probably out there not against ones. I don't care if you're rusty.
I was going to ask you too, because I know when we talked about this last week and even the week before, just about NFL preseason in general, how people feel about it, how people feel about how their teams attack it. And you were a big advocate of not having your starters out in the preseason, let alone game one, not making excuses for him. But were you also frustrated that he was put in that position to begin with? Or do you think that's just the way the cookie crumbles and, whatever?
It just depends on your coach, dude. Like, it really does. I get both sides. I do. But even if you are going to throw them out there, I think it should be week 3. Although I understand the argument that if they get hurt and it's something minor, you want time, blah, blah, blah. I get that argument too. But I just, man, because I look at it's been really 50-50 this year of teams who have put starters out there and who haven't. And I know everyone's going to get their time at some point.
Right.
It's just there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to preseason. I personally just hate seeing my starters out there because it makes me so fucking anxious, but there's no right or wrong answer. There's really not.
Yeah, it was just so classic the way that you said that. You're like, and I agree, it does make me anxious when we talked about the Pro Bowl comparisons, right? Like that whole event makes me anxious now because I'm just so worried about injuries and things like that. And even last night watching the Eagles and the Browns game, there were a couple injuries that I was just like, oh man, like really preventable stuff. And then literally like right after we recorded together, the Jags came out and said they were going to start Trevor game 1. And you were like sick. Like it was almost like they had listened to you and then just said, nope, psych, like exactly what you don't want.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you too, and you can obviously, I know you want to talk about the Jags, but the Cowboys, what you thought about, because we've talked about the coaching changes and how you thought some certain coaches should have been bumped up to a head coaching position without naming names. But what did you think from the Cowboys play calling perspective? Is there hope for this organization? Are they kind of just like, I don't know, man. Tyler, you can answer too if you want. How do we feel about the Dallas Cowboys? I know it's early, but.
Well, my opinion on preseason is that the play calling here is not the same as it's going to be in the regular season.
Yeah, and you can.
So I don't think that's really something to look at in the preseason. But go ahead, Kendra.
Yeah, I agree. I guess if you're just asking about my expectations from the Cowboys, I have always thought that Mike McCarthy hinders them. It's not that they don't have talent. It's just that they don't hone the talent that they have properly. And I feel that same way about this season. But Dak Prescott also has turnover issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if he can, and he said that he was going to try and not have any turnovers this season. That's not realistic. I don't believe him. That's a lie. I get how you have to say that about yourself. Still, my issue with the Cowboys isn't a lack of talent. It never has been. It's just a lack of ability to turn that talent into something better. But that being said, I do think that the Cowboys are my dark horse in that division this year. We did the NFC East a couple weeks ago, but they're still I really like the Cowboys this year. Do I think that they are a Super Bowl caliber team? Obviously not. I've been on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl since the end of the draft. But I think they're obviously everybody's favorite. But if for some reason something catastrophic were to happen to them, or the Cowboys for some reason got their shit together completely, I think that they could compete a little bit. Nobody's repeated that division since like what,
2016, I think.
Yeah, 2014, 2016, whatever.
I think that was 2014 to 16. I think there was like a 3-year.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
Maybe, or
yeah,
somebody.
It's a shit show of a division.
For sure.
Yeah. So I don't think that anything in the preseason says a whole lot. I think that they were fine. They had some good defensive plays that they made. They came back for a minute. Trevor shook off that interception pretty quickly through 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversion to Zay Jones, which was incredible to watch. Oh my God.
Ooh.
My computer just split off the thing.
Nice.
I caught it though.
Good catch.
Yeah, I know, right? I was going to say this when I was talking about Nathan Rourke earlier, but the fact that I could potentially be saying that the Jaguars have depth at QB is hysterical and not something I ever thought I'd be able to say. But other than that situation, my other 2 big takeaways before we move into just some random thoughts on preseason so far is that Kayvon Chason was a waste of a pick. And that I think that Tank Bigsby could be the number 1 running back in the system by halfway through this season. That's my hot take.
I kind of think so
Such
too,
an elite
to be
name.
honest with you.
With a name like that, you gotta.
Kayvon Chason, such a what a fall. He was a number 1 pick projected at one point.
Yeah,
he
really fell from grace. Yeah. I wanted to talk about some of the rookie quarterbacks really quick too, just before we get into our division preview and talking about the Jags Lions super quick, just because we are fans and they're playing each other this week. CJ Stroud looked like shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to talk about draft pressure and fall from grace. I get really nervous with some of this stuff, guys. Like each year, the more we hype these kids up in the draft and around, and then they go to these shit teams. It's like, it's tough. It's tough to watch.
He's set up for failure, I think.
It's tough to watch.
I disagree. I'm not worried about it at all. I think he looks like shit, but I have odds on him for rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, really?
I do. I'll tell you what I took it at. He was my favorite of all of the
He's got to
be
up there. He's a quarterback. So it's probably top 5, I would imagine.
The pick that they made back to back to kind of just give D'Amico Ryan some picks, let him fucking coach this team, get his guys.
Let D'Amico cook.
Yeah, I think D'Amico's going to be a great head coach. I think out of
too.
all the teams in this division, they took the biggest jump in the offseason to get better. They signed some guys, they let some guys go. I really like what they did this year. I like D'Amico. I'm not going to overreact about CJ Stroud's game. I'm just saying he looked like shit, and here's the thing. It's a boomer bust league. You're either going to learn from it and you're going to get better, or you're not, and you're going to get 2 years to figure it out, maybe 3 if you're lucky, and that's about it. Good luck. Do or die. I know that there's a lot of pressure, but it is what it is. Like, there's a lot of pressure in everything.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about the that division in a couple weeks and get more thoughts in. But I think this year's going to be a disaster. But I like what they're doing in Houston. I think they're setting themselves up well for the future. I just think this year's probably going to be a little bit.
I took CJ Stroud for rookie of the year at plus 850.
850, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty baller.
I think the thing with the Texans is they're just going to have to not Houston themselves. They're just going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many, I feel like, situations we can look back on in the last decade. And yes, I understand the coaching situation is different. And I agree that I think that they're going to be able, under D'Amico, to potentially really have a strong team. And I know they've made a couple like potential playoff contentions, but I feel like they're one of those teams that they can really play themselves. Like, they can have the talent, they can have the coaching, and it still not work out, whether it be an ownership situation or something else. I just don't want them to Houston it.
I also want to talk about the other AFC South rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He had a crazy play in joint practices. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was pretty insane.
I've got an Indianapolis fan in one of my group chats. It's so unbearable.
Do you have any thoughts?
To fail so bad just to shut him up.
Do you have any thoughts on Richardson?
I think he'll be fine. I'm worried. I'm getting, maybe because I grew up a Washington fan, getting feelings of RG3, worried for his knees. Kind of think they're gonna use him incorrectly. But I don't know. I think he's going to be fine. He's a freak athlete.
He's
going to do
he
these
is
things.
Huge, dude. You look at, like, he just, the size, and I know it's the NFL, like, all these guys are huge, but he is just such a dynamic. Sometimes like with those lanky quarterbacks, they don't have like control over all their limbs at the same times, but he's just such an athlete and he's built. I don't know. I'm kind of going into the 23-24 season. I'm sorry, but I think the Colts are my villain just because of the Jim Irsay situation.
They're always a
and
villain for me.
The Dale Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome
Dale
comparison.
is Doug's son.
And now that I have that image of them, I don't think I'm going to be able to shake it off. I hope he does well. Can I say I hope the Colts do well? Not really.
I hope it's a disaster, and I think they will have a top 5 pick.
I did not expect them to name Anthony Richardson as their starter. I really just wholeheartedly expected it to be Gardner Minshew. I'm not even going to lie to you guys.
Yeah.
So that was my big takeaway. I
think Gardner will be starting at some point this season because injury.
I think so too.
I think Anthony's going to get injured very quick.
Interesting.
Yeah, the
like,
RG3 comparison is
season.
really
he might
interesting.
Miss some time and then come back. I just think he has a history of getting hurt, and they feel like the team that's going to rely on him being mobile, and I think he's just going to get a little banged up.
Yeah.
All right. Last rookie,
our favorite of the group.
Not me. I am
my
not.
Favorite.
I know.
It is just Tyler.
Not Kendra's favorite, and not my favorite for the record either.
My boy. I have not. What is he in the news for? I haven't seen him.
He looked really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
As
it tends to go. As it tends to go.
I still think he's just a baby.
Here. Nobody believes me. You think he's a baby? That's a grown man.
He's just so tiny.
He's been in college football
we're
for
like
14
the same
years.
size.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't mean his age.
Just babies. Have you seen Deuce Vaughn on the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
That man is a baby.
I'm taller than him. So is Haley.
Yeah, most of the population is.
His name is Stetson Fleming Bennett IV.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's good.
This my rookie.
This headline says Rams QB Stetson Bennett on the hype train. Former NFL quarterback says not so fast. So I think we still have plenty to see, and I'm excited to see it go down.
If he starts, I think he'll have like a good game, and people are going to overreact and call him the next Tom Brady, and then he's quickly going to fall back to earth. Icarus flew too close to the sun.
The number one question underneath Stetson Bennett when you look him up on Google is why didn't he graduate?
Wait, he didn't graduate?
We're still trying to figure that out. We don't know for sure.
We don't know
for sure, but people are speculating that he was at Georgia for 84 years and did not leave with a diploma. Which fair brag.
Fair brag.
So the big headline this week, we have a Jags-Lions preseason game. How are we feeling? Contention is high on the pod. I am going ahead as a Jags fan. And I'm a bigger Jags fan than a Lions fan, but I grew up with my dad being a big Lions fan. So I have love for Daddy Campbell and the organization as well. I'm going to go ahead and be Switzerland this week. I'm not going to pick sides. I'm going to support you both equally.
To be honest, I'm just pulling for no injuries.
I think that's how I feel too. I'm excited to see.
I think
injured,
my boy Jacoby's going to play. And sidebar on Jacoby, I'm strongly considering buying a number 50 Jacoby jersey because I think that's awesome. He's going to wear it in the preseason because he's allowed to and change his number. But a 50 quarterback jersey would be so fun.
I think you're going to regret it for the meme if you don't get one.
Probably. If I don't get one,
yeah,
I'll probably regret it either way. But
I don't have a ton of thoughts. I'm obviously excited to watch Nathan Rourke, but the Lions are.
I love that. That's the big takeaway from this week. Is like Nathan Rourke central, bro. Like,
I wish Hendon Hooker were playing because I would love to watch Hendon Hooker in the preseason.
Well, so the Lions said that they're sitting their starters. I have not heard what the Jags are doing. I swear to God,
probably the opposite of whatever you want them to do. So I wouldn't even say it. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it.
Take a stance and then
I don't care if you want to get everybody snaps except for Trevor. Put him in fucking bubble wrap on the sidelines. God damn it.
In one of those soccer bubbles? Like have him in one, like the boy in the plastic bubble. Yeah.
Yes.
Bubble boy.
Yes.
Because if 1,000%. He gets injured, you're so
the season's done.
You're so fucked.
I can't talk about it. I'm gonna throw up. I can't talk about it.
I mean, the same with Jared Goff. If Jared Goff goes down,
yeah. I mean, like, it's just I don't understand. I don't understand the logic
still
of it.
recovering from an injury.
No, I'm gonna throw up.
Wearing number 50.
We need to move on.
I cannot, dude. The last thing that my fucking mental health needs in the entire world is an injury to Trevor Lawrence or Jamal Agnew just because he's my motherfucking boy. Okay.
We love Jamal Agnew. Shout out to the kid that sat with us in the Tennessee game.
Jamal Agnew, truther. Yes. Okay, before I actually puke, because I think I'm going to, especially staring at this spilled matcha.
Not Jacoby Brissett. Apologies.
Our division preview is the AFC North this week. I was very conflicted while I was doing this for a lot of reasons. But now that I'm looking at it, I think that we pretty much all have the same thing except for our bottom two teams.
We do have breaking news for the division as well. Jadeveon Clowney is going to the Ravens.
No!
Oh, I kind of wanted
he was supposed to go to the Jags.
Yeah,
so, one of the top names in the NFL, just in terms of like a name, such a good name.
He's kind of washed.
He is headed to the Ravens. So I don't know if that's going to have any impact on anybody's thoughts, but just wanted to put that out there.
Honestly, it kind of might put him. I think Baltimore's going to finish right around that 10-win mark. That might put them over the win total.
I have the Bengals at 12-5 and the Ravens at 11-6, but my Ravens are the dark horse in this division. I think they're kind of fucking sick.
I think that move might push me to have the Ravens as my dark horse too. I had the Browns just because I don't know. I'm just such a sucker for, I really want them to do well. And I feel like looking at them last night, I think the pieces are there for them to not have a garbage season. And I think that we've talked obviously about their quarterback situation, which is not the worst that you could have. And as much as I hate Deshaun Watson, I really want them to be able to pull it out just for the fan base, for the city of Cleveland.
Fuck the Browns.
But also, now I'm like, fuck the Browns, and I kind of am riding with the Ravens. So I think I'm going to make an audible and put them as my dark horse.
You know what? We said this last year. I love a lot of Browns fans. I'm friends with a lot of Browns fans. I feel bad for Browns fans,
too.
Specifically the women that I am friends with who are Browns fans. That being said, I love you guys. Fuck the Browns. Truly, I hope that you guys suck for the rest of eternity. I'm not sorry.
No, I mean, you're so not wrong. I have this like inner turmoil debacle at the beginning of every season. And by every season, I mean, especially the last two. But I think you said it best. I think you helped me make my decision. Fuck the Browns.
I have the Bengals going 12-5. I do think that they're going to have some regression this season. I do think they're a Super Bowl caliber team if they can stay healthy. I think that this is probably, I'm going to say, the second toughest division in football with my whole chest.
Yeah.
I think it's first toughest for me.
Really?
No, the AFC
or most
East,
competitive.
bro.
I don't think they're like
AFC
the
East.
best teams in the world, but playing each other, these teams are going to go through the ringer, I think.
The AFC East is one for me.
By far.
I was thinking NFC West too, but maybe, well, even the AFC West is tough. Fuck. I still think that this is my two.
This is definitely one of the more tough divisions, though, regardless of how you feel.
I do have zero faith in the Steelers season, though. I think that they're going to have a top 5 pick.
I think they're my dark horse. I think Pittsburgh showed some promise last year, believe it or not.
I don't believe in Kenny Pickett.
I don't either. And I think
please
that
hold.
I have to be honest, like we've talked about, I've come around as a Patriots homer, I've come around to the city of Philly, and I love Philly. I love the fans. I cannot do the same for the city of Pittsburgh. Sorry, not sorry. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And I can't ride with the Steelers. And I honestly hope they have a fucking terrible season this season. And
Wow.
Sorry. It's really how I feel about it.
I just think Mike Tomlin's one of the best coaches in the league. I think
he is. And listen, I don't hate
strides.
Mike Tomlin. I don't hate Mike Tomlin at all. I actually really like him.
I think with what Kenny Pickett did last year, I think he showed but he was playing behind an awful offensive line. I think he showed promise there. He had 3 fourth quarter comebacks and 4 game-winning drives in only 12 games. And I think they added a lot of people around him offensively. They got Allen Robinson, who I think will be a help. They got my real dark horse is Darnell Washington. I think he is going to be one of the best tight ends in the country in a couple of years. I think the letdown is going to be their defense. They lost a lot of people on defense,
which is crazy when we talk about the Steelers. I think when I think about the Steelers,
you don't think of them as more of offense.
I think back to some of their elite defensive groupings that they used to have, and that's why I'm like, I agree that Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal coach, but I just don't know. I think we're really going to see like a restructuring of that whole team and situation.
I think it's very possible. I think it's the defense is going to let them down, I think.
I have a hot take.
Hit us.
I think, while I do think that Mike Tomlin is one of the better coaches the NFL has seen over the last few decades, I think that if why did I say Tom Coughlin?
I don't know.
Mike Tomlin. I think that if he were, I don't know why I was thinking Tom Coughlin. They could not be more different humans.
No, very different.
Regardless, Mike Tomlin. I think that if he were a head coach in any major market, LA, Chicago, New York, Miami, he would have been fired decades ago. Pittsburgh is one of those cities where you can middle and not be great and go over 500 and keep your job for the rest of forever. Shit like that does not ride in major markets, especially major markets who have a history of winning. And I think that he's had teams and talent where middling is not good enough. And the division hasn't been great, so he's been able to do a little bit over of middling. But I think that if he had been anywhere else, he would not have a job still. And I do love him. And I do think
place, it's a mess.
I think that if he were anywhere else, though, that pressure of, maybe having to perform in a Boston, New York, LA, whatever, he could have won a fucking Super Bowl. He's 100%. So talented, but it's just the fact that everyone there seems kind of content with mediocrity. But on top of that, I don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I also want to keep calling him Kenny Pick Six.
Yeah, and I'm still mad at Ben Roethlisberger. So
I'll always be mad at Ben.
I'll always be mad at Ben Roethlisberger. Like I'm just gonna come out of the closet. Like I'm a Steelers hater. Like full. Like I'm sorry. Like
I do feel like they're a team
I don't
that if you
them.
don't like them, you kind of have a bad taste for them.
I really don't like them. I never have liked them.
They're one of those teams.
All right. So based on that, who do you guys think wins the division and we all have the Bengals winning the division. Who do you guys have going to the playoffs? I have Bengals and Ravens.
I think I'm going to say the same.
I think I'm saying the same as well, even though I don't love the Ravens as much. I'm a little bit lower on the Ravens than most people. I love Lamar Jackson's great. I don't know that I love the rest of their roster.
Let's talk about real quick while we talk about Cincinnati. Where do we stand on the Burrow train? Are we Burrow fans? I am a Burrow fan. So
I'm a Burrow fan.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I don't know how you're not.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people are not. Some people are not. But I just wanted to check. I love Joe Burrow. I'm really excited for the Jags Cincinnati game. That's gonna be so sick.
We got to start planning that.
Yeah, we got to start planning that. We will be going. We will be there. I am so excited to go to the Jags original stadium for the first time. But we'll talk about that when that comes up. But I really like the Bengals. I've liked the Bengals for the last couple of years. I like Joe Burrow. I see them going to the playoffs. How do we feel about them in playoffs? I think sometimes they can drop it, but I think they have.
I feel about Baltimore.
Yeah.
Wait, Tyler, I want to know your beef with the Baltimore roster because I love the Baltimore roster.
Just don't think the receiving core's as good.
You don't what?
I don't like
they
OBJ.
Have Odell Beckham Jr.
I think he's kind of washed.
Zay Flowers,
dude,
Mark
they built that whole thing up to get him to stay.
I'm not a Zay Flowers guy.
They made all that work to get Lamar to stay. Like they literally beefed up their offense.
Yeah,
that was the
they
whole
have
purpose.
done that, but I don't.
Tyler Linderbaum, also a great pick.
I think it's gonna be. They might be sick, dude.
I think they're gonna be sick. If you have Nelson Aguilar as a number 2, you're gonna be fine.
I don't know. I think they're just gonna hover around that 10-win mark, probably sneak into the playoffs and lose in the first round.
Yeah, I mean that's possible too.
Because they haven't been a great playoff team either.
I don't look at any of these teams as super great playoff teams, though. I have to be honest.
Well, since he went to the Super Bowl,
I was gonna say I like the Bengals.
I like the Bengals too. I don't know, but I feel like sometimes they get into those big games and they can't.
I don't know. I think Ravens will be fine. I just wouldn't be surprised if there was some regression this year.
I think the Bengals are going to have regression this year. I think them and the Bills both.
Yeah, I think they might too. It might just be a division that kind of, I don't know, cannibalizes itself.
I think mid is such a good way of putting the whole Steelers situation. I know we have already moved on, but I keep thinking back to that. I think that's such a good point. And I think if they finish under Cleveland this year, the city is going to be like,
if they finish last, I think you've got to fire him.
You got to fire him. Got to.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I think, are very close. Personally,
I think that Cleveland's a decent bit better than Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh could really
Deshaun Watson can revitalize himself. Yeah.
Well, they still have depth at quarterback now.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true. They do have our boy, but I also am not a preseason believer. So.
Well, no, not even that. I mean, they just have depth in general. Like they're only going to carry 3 quarterbacks because you can with the new rule. But I just don't know if it's going to be.
I'll say it.
Yeah, you said that last week, but even with that, I think that I agree with Kendra, who their 3rd and 4th spots like are still pretty good. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I like.
You can win games. I mean, here's the thing: if they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks, I see Kellen Mond leaving before I see Josh Dobbs leaving.
I forgot about Kellen Mond.
Yeah,
Kellen Mond's not making the team.
That's what I'm saying. I think that they're going to have.
And I'm the biggest Kellen Mond fan in the world. I loved him at Texas A&M. He's not making the team.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is like at that point, they have Deshaun Watson, Josh Dobbs, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Yeah. Those are all 3 players that play a pretty similar style enough to Deshaun. I don't think you're off. I mean,
into thinking about playoffs, I think Cincinnati's the team, and then there's a bunch of the 3 mid teams. That's
disagree. I think the Ravens.
The Ravens are the best of the mid teams, and they have the highest potential of those mid teams. But I think they're kind of mid. I don't think they're bad. I think they'll hover around that 10-win mark, but I just don't think they're going to do too much after that.
That being said, I did not take any of the over-unders on this division. I don't like it.
It's a terrifying division. Anything could happen.
It's sus. This division is sus.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Any other comments, thoughts?
My one comment, Cincinnati, I don't think it will. I was much more confident in this when Joe Mixon's legal troubles were still up in the air. He's kind of got that figured out. Big fan of the running back Chase Brown from Illinois that Cincinnati drafted. Mm-hmm. I think if he gets an opportunity, I think he's going to be really good. I just don't know if he'll be given much of an opportunity since Joe has figured it out.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all our NFL stuff. Couple quick PLL comments and some F1 stuff before we start to close out.
Sorry. Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. Before we move on, I just noticed Tyler's note here. So this Tyler, if you've been following, we have been discussing Tyler's long con conspiracy, which is that whoever obviously comes in last place this year in the NFL will get the first pick to pick
my boy, Caleb Williams.
Okay.
So everybody's boy.
Yeah,
hold on. Time out. He's not everybody's boy because there's a faction of the internet that's driving me insane that's convinced themselves Drake May is better than Caleb Williams, and that's just asinine.
Interesting.
It's ridiculous.
So this is the first division you don't see a potential long con. So you don't see any of these teams blowing their season to go for Caleb Williams.
I think they're going to be above the threshold to be in contention for Caleb Williams, but me thinking that automatically means there's probably going to be 2 of them in contention for Caleb Williams.
Okay, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But yes, all right, Kendra, we can move on to our next point.
The long con, baby.
The long con. I always have to bring it up every episode because I'm so fascinated by this long con conspiracy, and I can't wait to see who ends up getting the first pick next year.
I guarantee it's not going to be any of the people I've predicted.
I know. We need to make a final call. Yeah,
we need to make a football league
for Steve.
Not the hot chip. I'm telling y'all right now. NFW. No fucking way. What am I doing?
All right. Couple PLL things. I'm not going to go too crazy in depth here. One, I just have to say, seeing Sierra and the Cannons throwbacks last week was fucking fire. And I went to look at them and they had already sold out.
That did turn
She's
my
so
opinion
hot.
of the can. Seeing it on a person, the jersey looks much better
The
than in the
bucket
marketing
hat,
picture.
the jeans. She's so hot. She's so awesome. I thought she had her family like all dressed to the night. They looked sick. Very well representative of the PLL. And I was also impressed with the jersey too. Not a person.
She sold that jersey out online. The PLL is in Seattle this weekend. 1, RIP the Chrome. I think that their odds of making the playoffs are like complete dog shit. We're fucked. 2, the face-off might be gone forever, ?
Why?
Or
What happened?
becoming so, because
it
with the
just
new shot
dangerous?
clock rules, there are people who like aren't being dressed, aren't being traveled. The people are just taking like the shot clock might get rid of the face-off. It's TBD.
Interesting.
So that's like the big conversation right now, kind of around like lacrosse and lacrosse Twitter is, should the shot clock stay or go? I see both sides. I think the face-off is a huge part of lacrosse and, you know, lacrosse's history and stuff, but I also do like the speed of the game with the shot clock. I don't have an opinion. This isn't a political statement. I do love the face-off. So I think if I had to lead one way or the other, I'm pro face-off and no shot clock, because I think it keeps the game how the game was intended. But I get it.
It's tough. That's a tough
and
one.
If you're going to watch a game this weekend, I would say watch the Chaos versus Water Dogs game. I think that is the game of the weekend. And by now, Jackson's peanut butter picks would
Water
have.
Dogs. Let's go Dogs.
Wait, where'd you get that?
I think this is a Barstool shirt.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, those are all my PLL notes. Not a ton of F1 stuff. This has been the quietest silly season probably ever. I feel like nothing has happened other than the boys like soft launching girlfriends,
which we can talk about because I've been all over this. I think that it's because we don't have races and no silly season that the internet is so like focused on these girlfriends right now. But my God, the pressure of being an F1 girlfriend right now is just astounding.
The pressure of being Roscoe was much higher.
I love Roscoe.
I have like 8 tweets of the week, so I'll just bring my Roscoe one up now. The tweets of him from Lewis Hamilton's account about him like taking naps and stuff and skateboarding.
Oh, he's so cute.
That
skateboarding thread was so good.
That was like the gist of it, but it was so good. I just love Roscoe and Lewis. But Mick soft launched a girlfriend. I feel like obviously Alex and Lily spent the break together. They're my favorite couple.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of just not a whole lot going on. Lando was on a boat. I didn't see what did Charles and his girlfriend get into?
So, well, first of all, I'm gonna say I'm a huge fan of Max Verstappen's girlfriend Kelly Piquet and her daughter Penelope. I love their family dynamic. All their like cute little pictures that have come out from their break have just been so cute. So I'm a big fan of theirs. Charles, our boy. So Charles and Carlos both have new girlfriends.
Carlos has a girlfriend?
Yes.
Already?
Yes. So they have new girlfriends and their ex-girlfriends are currently on vacation together. That's a lot of fun. But Charles's new girlfriend, she's an art history student. Her name is Alexandria.
I know who she is, yeah.
The internet and me too. This girl, she's gorgeous. Of course, all these women are absolutely gorgeous. She has one of the biggest cases of RBF that I have ever seen in my life. And some of these like F1 gossip channels, you know, they get these pictures. I don't know how they do it. Props to those people that run those accounts and those Twitters. I mean, that's a like full-time job stalking these people. Maybe you should like take some time to, you know, reflect. But I enjoy the content. But anyway, Charles, if you don't know, he has 2 brothers who are also racers. So shout out to Charles's mom for dealing with 3 motorsport racers, because I don't think I could take that anxiety. Anyway, they all went with their girlfriends on a family trip with Charles's mom, and there were a bunch of pictures that came out. And in none of these pictures is his new girlfriend smiling. She is just constantly like making it's just.
I gotta look it up.
The comments are so good. She looks like she would rather be anywhere else. which is fine, but maybe don't be dating Charles Leclerc, who has everybody in his comments wanting to date him. So
I'm looking at Charlotte's Instagram right now. Holy crap.
Yeah, so crazy stuff. That's just kind of the behind the scenes tea. I've been really bored with this silly season. Kendra sent me an iconic I can't remember if it was you or Abby actually. Abby, our other F1 friend of the pod, sent me a graphic illustrating the remaining years of each driver's contract from now through like 2028. And I don't know, it's just been very quiet. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like the only thing was the Audi rumor.
Yeah.
Carlos? Is that it? Was there anything else to recap?
No, not really. I mean, the biggest meme of that graphic was that Lance Stroll.
I have breaking news.
Oh yeah,
What?
I saw Lance's.
So I just Googled about Charles and his girlfriend, and I guess finally, like the sports gossip blogs have dug far enough into TikTok to find and release all of the history between Charles's new girlfriend and his ex-girlfriend and how they used to be friends.
Oh.
Because he always dates within the same
way.
friend group. That's like everyone's big knock on him is that he always
Charles.
dates within the same friend group.
Oh, Charles.
Can't be doing that, Charles.
No, that's not the move, dude. Ah, damn. That's crazy. Did
Like,
you
you're
see the
just
pictures
asking
of
for
her
drama.
at dinner? Did you see those,
Well,
Kendra?
yeah, but they all like so Charles and Charlotte broke up and then he started dating this girl almost immediately.
Yeah.
And they
And we're
used to
team
be
Charlotte, by the way, in case
and
anyone was wondering.
and
Are we?
Charlotte
Yeah,
and
big
his
time.
girlfriend before her used to be friends.
Yeah. Charlotte
Uh-oh.
is so awesome, Tyler.
I'm team Charlotte.
She's so awesome.
Do either of them have any animals that will sway
I
me?
don't know.
Unaware.
All
All
so
right.
yeah, that's F1.
That's the gossip. That's the F1 gossip.
We do have F1 next weekend. F1 is back next weekend.
Where are
in
we
the
next
Netherlands.
weekend?
We're in the Netherlands.
It's Max's home race.
Max's home race.
What time is everything at? Should we have a watch party?
Now.
Yeah, I will pull all that. Oh, I
Is it on
actually have it
Sunday?
on my calendar. Please hold. I have the entire F1 calendar merged with mine. We have 6:30 a.m. on Friday, practice 1, practice 2 at 10 a.m. So we'll probably catch that on Friday, 10 a.m. Practice
10
2.
Same
Saturday, we have practice 3 at 5:30 a.m. And then we have qualifying Saturday at 9. And the race is on Sunday, also at 9.
If we have quali at 9, I'm going to have to sit in the 98.5 studio. Wait, I'm not going to be here next weekend.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to be in Milwaukee next weekend.
No way. That's crazy.
My cousin's getting married.
Yeah.
My little cousin
is
getting married.
You're going to get to see the whole fam. That's lit. Tell everyone we say hi.
So I'm going to get up at 8 a.m. to watch qualifying after. I'm probably still going to be drunk. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And then the race is at 9 on Sunday. So we'll be up.
What time zone is Milwaukee in? You're not getting
Central.
Central.
I'll be in your time zone.
7.
Nope.
So it's at 7, right?
Nope. It's at 9. So you got to get up at 8.
I thought you said the race was at 8.
No, 9.
Good work.
Carry on.
Paul.
My war with time zones. It will never
Good
end.
work, Paul.
Good work,
Okay.
Paul.
Closing segments. Tweets of the week. Am I the only one that has tweets or Tea Party?
I think so,
I
but
have
I have Michael Orr.
Okay, then you can steal that from me.
I have a Instagram post of the week.
Okay, what is it?
I'm going to shout out our buddy Will Whitelaw. We talked about him earlier. We had some Leagues Cup action the past couple weeks. He is obviously, if you don't know, he works with the New England Revolution. And he posted some really cool stuff of some really awesome people he got to meet through the Leagues Cup. And he got to meet one of my favorite influencers, Jamad Fiend. And I'm so sorry if I butchered her name, but she is a Muslim basketball influencer. She runs her own camps out of Boston. Huge Boston influencer, really pro sport, pro women in sport. She's really awesome. And he posted a picture of her, and I'm so jealous you got to meet her, Will. So if you're listening to this, I'm so jealous.
King.
And I hope you had fun. King. And on that note, Nashville SC, very exciting. They won their semifinal, quarterfinals, and are now
watched
headed
that game.
I did as well. Super awesome. I'm really excited for just MLS and Leagues Cup stuff in general. I think it's really great to see soccer becoming big in America right now. And and kind of destroying these Mexican teams, right? Like that's kind of wild, just seeing some of these MLS teams play these really big games and come out winning.
Nashville's got a big game against
we're
Miami tomorrow.
We're gonna have a big game against Miami, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited. I think Messi is great for the American soccer market, and I'm very happy with it. So I know that's not really a tweet of the week, but there you go.
I actually got into this conversation last night with some of the people in our fantasy league because I watched the games with them at Ryan's house. How do you guys feel about Messi's contract? And do you think that
I haven't seen it?
Well, he's getting like revenue from streaming, and he's only playing. He's not gonna.
Doesn't he like own the team partially or something? He's got like an ownership.
It's a contract that we've never seen before. And my question is just, do you guys think that contracts like this should be allowed? Are they good for the game? I don't think so. I think that you should get a salary. You shouldn't get a portion of X streaming, X revenue from this, X revenue from that. If it's revenue, just fucking pay the guy. Like, it doesn't need, like, stop it. Stop. This is getting too far. This is going to change contracts and the way that the league works way too much. I get NIL, but at what point is this too far and too wrong?
I don't really know if I have much of an opinion because I don't know enough, but it's a lot more of a risk I feel like it would be safer to just have a salary, right? Because if you're getting this like revenue sharing agreement, like stuff could hit the fan and you could just lose your money.
I just don't think that, and I don't remember who it was that went to some Middle Eastern league recently, some big player, but part of his contract was, it's like if he tweets about the league or whatever, he gets like $500K. Like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and this is something that we talk about a lot on the show, and what I do for work, and my work in NIL and my experience with contracts this is something that I find fascinating about sports in any league. And I'm a big advocate of the fact that contracts are forever changing. And this is exactly what you said, Kendra, a contract we've never even seen before. I think when we're talking about players like Ronaldo and Messi, these guys at this elite level, with soccer being, something that has been very much European centric, now we're seeing it come to America. I don't think we can really even predict how these kinds of deals are gonna go and how they're gonna work out. I think Messi is such a unique situation, right? Because obviously there was so much that had to go on to figure that deal out. And I think it opens a Pandora's box of other issues, right? If he gets this deal, why can't person X, Y, and Z get the same? So I don't know.
But Lionel's like soccer god, right?
Yeah, but I want to keep the game fair, and this risks the ability to do that.
It opens a door that I think can be dangerous and can affect other sports and other leagues. But I do think it's interesting when you think about who the contract is for. I think it's just, I can see the argument of it's a once in a lifetime deal. They'll never do it again, but they've done it. So now there's, kind of this possibility on the table. And I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I get it if they needed it to bring him to Miami. I think it's worth it in that aspect. But I can see your point, how it would be unfair down the line to other players and in other situations. I don't know how I feel about streaming and all that. I think it makes sense. I think we think about, the Taylor Swift situation or some other, sports and music is different, but some of the streaming revenue situations that we've seen come out of the music industry, and now we see sports
in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing streaming just completely change the game, and I think that we have yet to see how it's really going to impact sports. And I think this is one of the first contracts that really takes that into consideration. And I don't know how it's going to go. We're going to just have to see. But I have my hesitations about it too, for sure.
Yeah, I think you jeopardize the fairness of sports when you get shit like that involved, and that's my fear. My only other tweet of the week situation that we haven't already touched on is also an Instagram post of the week, and it's just the fact that a Sunoda Jags cup was recommended to me from the NFL shop on Instagram.
That's crazy.
That's so creepy.
Creepy.
Do you Google Yuki a lot? It's definitely from Google. It's Google.
I consume a lot of Yuki lore.
If you're a fan of the show, this is probably one of the creepiest examples of the FBI listening to us. But the other day, I haven't even told either of you about this. I went downstairs, and and I had on my Alexa downstairs a hush puppy recipe.
Yeah,
Yum.
that's a deep cut.
And I didn't know what hush puppies were till about a month ago. And they're definitely listening to me because that's so creepy that they would know that.
I love hush puppies. I want
they're
one
so
so
good.
bad now. Oh, fuck. They're so good. I'm starving. I've been so busy. I have not been eating like for days
Same.
now, and it's
Me.
becoming an issue.
I agree.
All right. Tea party. You guys don't have any, but I have enough for all three of us.
Yep, absolutely
First
do.
thing I want to talk about, I guess Britney Spears is getting a divorce, and it's really kind of divided the internet.
Is it bad that I didn't know she was married?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had no clue she was married.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
To like a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he's come out, and I guess there's been rumors that she was cheating with the housekeeper, and that she was like abusing him. Like he had like bruises of like bites on him.
Or her husband?
Britney.
The husband.
Britney was abusing him.
The husband.
Okay.
Like it came out, and he had like bite marks all over him and stuff. And the internet and her mom has come out to say that he's not standing behind her and stuff. But I've got to be honest, I'm a Britney apologist. I really am. Like, do I think everything that she does is justified because she has been so abused for so long? Absolutely. But as an individual, I think that I cannot say that I wouldn't do the same thing that he's doing, because you get one life. Love you, babe. But like, I can't.
Yeah, I think anytime we talk about Britney is a little tricky because we have to be so cautious about what is true and what is not. And I think that she is one of those people, and the people that she has surrounded herself with and her conservatorship and all that situation, it's like, do we know the real Britney? I think a lot about Paris Hilton, if you've watched any of her stuff that she's come out with in the last couple of years, but she talks about what it was like growing up in the spotlight. And if you watch an interview with her now, she does her real voice, and she's just like a completely different person. Like she's just like the Paris Hilton that you think you know is just a whole different personality that she puts on. And I think Britney, with what she's been through in her life, has probably got a lot of serious trauma and things that she needs to deal with. And that's not an excuse in any way for ever putting your hands on anybody else. And if that is true, obviously, that's never acceptable, especially in a relationship situation. And it's an important opportunity to point out that domestic violence happens to men too. And it's something that, you know, they experience and goes really unreported in a lot of situations. So I hope that it works out for everybody and that everybody is, you know, safe and in a good situation. But I think it's really tough with Britney because you never really know what the true story is, because a lot of the people that are reporting on her behalf aren't necessarily really working on her behalf. So
Totally. I think my bigger point here is just that, like, I hate that the internet's dragging him for doing what's best for him, because this can't be an
100%.
easy situation to be in
Nope.
either. Like, you can care about her as much as you want, but like, I mean, what she's been putting on the internet, regardless of her situation and how sad it is, like, I don't know if I'd want to do that either.
Right. You have to think about a relationship being two people. And, you know, I can imagine that being in a relationship with her is probably pretty taxing, both emotionally, spiritually, and obviously even physically, unfortunately. And you do have to do what's best for you at that point. And again, it just goes to the whole concept of the internet being in on these celebrity relationships and pretending like they know anything about, you know, having these parasocial relationships with these people can be really dangerous. And I don't know. It makes me really sad when I see things like this, because, you know, at the end of the day, it was a marriage, and it seemed like they really did care for each other and love each other. And it's always sad to see that kind of not work out, but I wish the best for both of them, you know?
Yeah, me too. Tyler, you wanted to talk about the Michael Orr stuff.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's like another kind of conservatorship situation.
Yeah, right? Coming right off
Weirdly
that
enough.
conversation.
Yeah.
I read further into it this morning. I'm trying to mute my group chat because people won't shut up. But I read further into it this morning, and I guess that both lawyers have come out. I really don't know how I feel, just because the Tuohy's lawyers came out and said that he knew all along, and like in his memoir or whatever, he called it a conservatorship and not like an adoption, and blah, blah, blah. And now there's people that live in their town who are saying they suck, and people who are saying they don't suck. I just don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that it's not because he's hurting for money or something, and because this is actually like a situation. But I don't know. I think that this is crazy, and I almost feel like they have to do a follow-up movie on it just for
they
shits
got
and
to,
gigs.
and it's definitely going to be more of a documentary. I feel like now it's probably going to be like a 30 for 30 kind of The Blind Side too, but it's not going to be Sandra Bullock's not going to be there.
Like looking back at it though, I loved that movie, and now that I know that it potentially is probably
Did you love
fake,
that movie?
I did. But now that I know that it's probably potentially fake, it's like this is so fucked up. Not only if this is like even half true on their part, but also the fact that Disney just
Warner Brothers
exploited this situation and blew it up and like glorified it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out and it got a lot of success. One of the bigger comments on it was that it's a pretty obvious example of the trope of a white savior, right? Sandra Bullock's character and her family comes in and they save him, and you know it works out in the end. And when you hear it from this perspective, you watch the movie or you look at the situation a whole lot differently. There was a lot of pushback from that criticism, like no, like this was real, like it's a real true story, it really happened. And now hearing all this and thinking back to that criticism, I can't help but agree with that take. And I think it's really unfortunate that this could have been such a great story, an example of kindness and the human experience in football, and just now it's kind of just got a sour taste in my mouth. I don't
Tainted,
know.
yeah.
I don't really like it. It's unfortunate. It's kind of like if you found out Rudy was fake, like it's just like these like good-hearted sports movies that we, take so to heart, and just to find out that it, things aren't what they seem is always kind of tough. And
I thought that was such a good movie.
Yeah,
Rudy or The Blind Side? I think The Blind Side's awful. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think it's a bad movie. I think it came off as very fake. And I just think it's overrated. It's a bad year for movies. Also, I think 2009, just bad year. But I just don't think it was.
Popular?
I think it's overrated as a sports movie. The Blind Side.
Avatar was popular.
I hope my mom doesn't listen
year.
to this episode because she'll hate you forever.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, movies are subjective. You can like movies that I dislike. But it wasn't for me. I thought it came off as very fake. I think Sandra Bullock.
Now that I look back at it, I agree.
But like, you're telling me this grown man, oh, I've never had a bed. That's not real. You've had a bed.
I don't know about that, Tyler. I don't know. If that's your criticism from it, like I think that's probably one of the more realistic aspects of it.
Run the damn ball.
Well, have you ever been in a situation like? I just think that maybe you should. I don't know if that's the best criticism.
I thought it was a very flat movie. The writing is just my issue with it. I just don't think it was written very well. True story or not, I just don't think it was written very well.
Yeah, I think you would be surprised at the amount of people that have made it to that point in their life without a bed. I think it might be pretty sad.
I don't know.
Think about.
I just don't think he came off as somebody that needed that situation. But to pivot, the Saturday Night Live spoof they did on The Blind Side with Peyton Manning, it's so real right now. Go and watch it. I highly recommend it. It's just
super
hilarious.
Cringe now.
So cringy now.
So
back.
Cringe. Kendra, this last tea party, I don't know. I got your message this morning, but I don't know any details. I haven't read anything into this, so please tell me what's going on.
One of the most wanted murderers in the world allegedly has killed like 250 plus people, was arrested in Rye Beach, New Hampshire yesterday.
What's his name?
I don't remember. Hold on. I could not pronounce it.
Or does he have like a killer name, like the Zodiac or?
No, his name, fun? And I'm going to butcher this, Antonio Jose de Abreu Vidal Fijo.
Oh, yeah,
wow,
I got it.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been found guilty of I think 5 or 6 murders, but could be guilty for up to 250.
Where, across the country or just in the New Hampshire area?
I think he's from Brazil, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, he's from Brazil and he ran away here.
Interesting.
The thing that's interesting to me is that it's Rye. If you're familiar with the seacoast area of New Hampshire, Rye is and they're all very nice towns. Rye is very wealthy and super educated. Man? No, but it's interesting to me that would be, I guess that's ultimately, right? Like probably the perfect place to hide.
Yeah, in
I would have
hindsight,
guessed
kind of.
Manchester.
I would have guessed Manchester, even Hampton Beach. I would have been less surprised than Rye.
Yeah,
Rye Beach
same.
is odd to me.
Yeah, Rye Beach is crazy, and it's only 7. It's literally like one of the tiniest towns
So small
in New England.
So
like
small.
It's so little.
Yeah, tiny.
All right. It is now time for Tyler's favorite segment of the week.
Moon.
Bam, bam, bam,
Bow, bow,
bam.
bow.
If you're new here, this is where we read Tyler's horoscope to him.
What does the moon say about you all? Because you all have been very grumpy today. That's what I want to know.
I just got invited to a Zaza Fest. I hope that's a weed festival.
I hope that's exactly what I think it is, and I'm all in.
Mine says sometimes patience achieves more than force. That's probably a good thing for me to hear. And that it wants to know if I'm looking for reciprocation. I will look at Haley in a second. My do's and don'ts today, because Tyler asked, do endorphins, pillow fights, and sweaty palms.
Ugh.
Don't grass-fed straws,
palms.
sleep on the couch, or have demands. Sounds good.
Sick.
Haley and I are compatible today because we are both ride or dies. We're usually in the bath or shower. We're not obsessed with our exes, and we both have rock collections.
Oh my God, I have a rock on my desk.
I have a box of rocks. Please hold, please hold, please hold.
We have
We're
a
going
visitor
to get the
of
box
the
of
show.
rocks.
Jameson is here, everybody.
Jim heard box of rocks, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta
Hey, buddy.
go up."
This is just a quarter of my rock collection.
Oh, those are beautiful.
That's not a boulder.
It's a
I've
rock.
got so many rocks.
Why do you have so many rocks?
I just like them.
Oh,
I really
pioneers
like rocks.
used to ride. What is the quote? The
Pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
For miles. That's the quote.
Tyler, today it says, on a lazy Sunday, Tyler people watches all day without speaking to anybody.
I do like to people watch.
True.
And
on
judge.
lazy Sundays, I like to sleep until 11 and finally venture out to nap under the sun. True.
Me.
And Haley, on a lazy Sunday, likes to marathon their favorite childhood movies in bed.
Me. That's so crazy. I just rewatched The Prince of Egypt the other day. If you've ever seen that.
That's a good one.
That's a deep cut too.
Great movie. Great movie.
Underrated.
It says that you're able to see yourself as a singular being today, but that I am too sensitive to do that. Yeah.
I'm always a singular being.
Baby Jane.
It says you feel alive and invigorating today.
I do feel pretty productive.
What's up, James?
I just accidentally stuck my finger in wax.
It says we're supposed to share an old secret with each other today.
You got
old secret.
You already shared a secret with me today that I'm mad at you for.
Oh yeah. I don't really have any secrets.
I'm also mad at him for that secret.
A secret. That is your secret that you shared with me today, and I actually will handle it if you want.
Okay. It's out of my hands.
I think, how funny would that be?
That would be kind of funny.
Honestly, anything at this point. I'm waiting.
That would be
Wait, Tyler,
funny.
What's your mom's Instagram handle?
I couldn't tell you. I don't even know if she has one.
Oh, she has to.
She's not the most social person in the world.
Can I DM? Does your dad have social?
Yeah, I think he follows us.
Do you know his handle?
No.
Okay, well, you're not helping me solve this issue for you.
Not at all.
I'm trying to think if I have an old secret.
It's not really a secret. I prefer cold pizza the day after.
And cold chicken, you psycho.
And cold chicken. I like cold. I like leftovers.
Yeah.
I'm a big leftovers guy.
We went on vacation
are my
together
least
once,
favorite.
I love a good leftover.
Straight up had cold chicken out of the fridge. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's just something about a good leftover. Not seafood. Never do seafood leftovers. That's suspicious.
I don't think I have.
That's where I draw the line.
Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like weird things that people don't know about me, but I can't really think of anything because I kind of just lay it all out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any weird secrets either. I don't think so. I don't think I have any weird ones.
Not that I can talk about on the show, at least.
Yeah, not that I can talk about on the show. I mean, I have some good ones, but I can't talk about.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
I hope everyone has a great week. We are rapidly approaching the fall. I don't know where summer went.
God.
Like, I have no idea where summer went.
Shut up, Tyler.
I'm so excited for a nice hoodie weather. Dude,
Mm.
you don't even know.
I hope
I have a
everyone has
closing
great
thought.
week. I don't know. I thought I had another closing thought, but I can't remember what it is. So, oh well.
My closing thought is that fuck Steve Hewitt. I hope he loses our league.
Fuck Steve
Wow.
Hewitt is.
It's-
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly.
You gotta
And he
figure
will
out what
never ever
punishment you
hear
want
this
him to do.
anyway.
Nope.
Honestly, Steve, if you hear this organically and you message me without anybody telling you that it's in here, I will Venmo you $20.
Mm.
I won't. I'll Venmo
No.
request back that $20 because you don't deserve it.
All right, Tyler, closing thought.
No, I don't know Steve like that.
All right, love you guys. Keep
Love
on
you guys.
sipping,
Have a
y'all.
great week.
See you next week.